thought that Blackburn Rovers should be selling like hotcakes in Japan, but that's what's happening at the moment. Yesterday's winner at Watford, the first time in English football a goal has been scored and assisted by Japanese players, and we've got a new potential club legend on the way. And Morishita, welcome back to Where Uncle Jack Walks. It is 20 minutes of Blackburn match reviews and looking back at all the news connected with this famous old club. Thank you very much for joining us. We've got Tom, Harry, Mark and Jason. The full team is back with us. What a win. What a win we'll do to flush them all out, eh? Let's jump straight into it. Tom, you've got a new hero.
Yeah, I'd never heard much about him until he walked through the door, and I know Ishmael kind of held off, and he was really trying to fight for him to come through. I think from his first interview when he came over, he seems a real character. He's got a real personality about him, and I think it helped that obviously he knew a few players. He knew Ryoya from when he was at Warsaw with him, and he speaks very good English considering he's come from Japan. And yeah, I think he's really kind of got the fans on side just with his personality straight away. And we all wanted a player there because he seems like a real likable guy, like Ohashi. And then obviously when he started at the weekend against Watford, and he did really, I mean, he hit the crossbar in the first half, and he could have scored from the outside of the box. And then the dream kind of partnership we're all hoping for, these two Japanese lads coming in, and Ohashi, and the little assist for him to score was brilliant. I think he's bringing some of the feel good factor back to Rovers, because he's got a little helicopter celebration he does like this around all the fans, and there's little hats I'm seeing from the kids wearing them in the stadium. So yeah, it's nice to see, and I'm glad that someone like that's come to Blackburn, taking a chance, because it is a different league. It's a more challenging league. Time will tell how he gets on in the long term, but I think so far we're all really pleased for him, and we all really wanted him to do well. So I'm glad he got his goal and got the win.
Super. Also coming up this week, we're going to discuss Wharton, Haveras, and we're looking back at the transfer window and giving it a grade out of 10. So join us in 5 minutes for that. We're also asking club or country, would you rather see Rovers be promoted at the end of the season or England win the World Cup? And we'll get these four to give us their thoughts on that little dilemma shortly. Welcome back, Harry. I know you've been away for a bit. And what have you made of all that's been going on at Rovers? 1 week we're up, the next week we're down, next week we're up, next week we're down. It's just typical life as a Rovers fan, isn't it?
Yeah, you've taken the words right out of my mouth there. I was just going to say pretty much business as usual for Rovers. Yeah, I mean, I personally felt that going into the game on Saturday, we probably didn't have the points on the board that we necessarily deserved. I don't think we've played particularly badly in any game so far. We've been unlucky, so I think we deserved. I think we deserved the 3 points, and I think we were the better side on the run of play on Saturday. I don't really think Watford troubled us that much. I don't think we were amazing. Don't get me wrong. I think it was a bit of a scrappy first half, but we definitely made more of our chances, definitely tested their keeper a little bit more. Like I said, Morishita nearly scored an absolute worldie in the first half. Cantwell came close. We could have been a couple more up, but certainly deserved of the win on Saturday. It would just be nice if we could get a more consistent flow of results coming in now. Like you said, it's been a bit win-lose, on and off. And the performances have been there. I'm just hoping now that we can turn that into a more consistent run of regularly picking up points and putting points on the board and pushing ourselves up the table.
Yeah, cheers, Harry. Right, Jason, let's talk about this fella then, shall we? Yes, Scott Wharton back. As Phil says, the best left-sided centre-back in the league is back. Yeah, first start in 510 days, according to Rovers. How did he do?
It was brilliant Saturday. It was, and my biggest worry with Ian going and McLaughlin, two experienced heads going out of the team there, I thought was leadership. I thought Lawson gave us that. He was, from the first whistle, he was just first to everything. He is prone to a mistake when playing the ball out from the back. There was none of that. Carter was a bit slow off the mark, but he plays a couple of games, gets injured, and he seems he just needs to get his feet on the ground a bit. So he had a bit to stand up to, Wharton. I think But he was brilliant. He was man of the match for me. It was at half time. I couldn't see anyone else getting man of the match. He was just whenever Watford looked like creating something, he was just always there. And I think it's what we're going to need. You've got to build from the back. We have been a bit leaky this season, so we needed something. And maybe, these Everstays in the first team needed to go. We know how good Watson is if you can stay fit, but same with Aidan Carter. And we have got the experience of McLaughlin. So, I thought Watson, I think he's going to be a big player. If he can stay fit, he's the first name of that back four on the team sheet for me, if he stays fit.
I saw Rovers fans pointing out Don Hyam's result for Wrexham, of course, as well. Which,
unused sub, was it? Unused sub, I think, wasn't it? Great move, Don.
Right, Mark, let's give you the one moan, shall we, from the fans then. Lewis Ishmael says, great win. Tavares very poor again, though. He really needs to learn his teammates have the same colour shirt as he does. Is that fair?
It's harsh. I mean, I don't think he's got off to the greatest of starts, but I know the last episode we did, and we talked about the new players. You don't know how they're going to do. I mean, obviously with Murray getting a debut goal, that just spurs him on straight away. Some players take that little bit more time, and I think he's going to be one of them players that's. And again, I think the position he's playing as well. Yeah, I think he's playing in the hardest position on the pitch for Championship football. He's right in the middle. It's 100 miles an hour. Some players are going to take time adapting. I think he's going to be one of these players that he's going to take time to adapt. Obviously he's got the experience of Tronstad alongside him, so I'm sure that will help him. But you've got to. We've just lost Travis from that position. With how many games under his belt has he got in the Championship for Rovers? So I'm not going to be critical of him at this stage. I think, as I said, we've just got to stick with him. The more game time he gets, the better. But I think to start criticising him at this stage is just a bit harsh. I just think he's going to be one of these players that's, as I said, some are going to hit the ground running, like Murray did with his goal. Others are going to take that little bit more time, and that was the high risk strategy that Rovers took during the summer recruitment. Let's stick with him. I think there's a player in there. And let's hope, I mean, again, I think the lads they'll know 2 years ago when Tronstad came into the team, I think it took him about 2 or 3 months to get up and running. We all thought, who's this guy? It's a completely different league. And again, playing in that centre midfield. And then look at the player we've got now. Let's stick with him. I think he will come good.
Okay. Cheers, Mark. Tom, let's look at the manager here as well. I mean, everyone's pleased for Val. He's had a bit of a rough ride, I think, hasn't he? From some fans. It's not AI generated. That is pure emotion at the end of the game, wasn't he? He was over with the away fans. Ben says, well deserved. He managed the game perfectly well at Watford. He's also getting the best out of Hedges. So huge kudos to him and Hedges for revitalising his Rovers career. Yeah, do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, this time, at the end of last season, a lot of us were debating which players we should keep at Rovers. And Hedges was on the chopping block for most of us. But this season, he's really kind of been one of the standout players, if not the player of the season so far. I think time will tell again with Ishmael. I think he's done absolutely nothing wrong, in my opinion, so far. It's been quite a turbulent transfer window. And I think a lot of things have been taken out of his hands. He has been patient with the club. There's not a lot of transparency between the fans and the board, and then when they do come out and talk to the fans, I don't honestly know what I believe anymore. And I think Ishmael is kind of just keeping his head down, and he's doing his job. He's got the players I think he wants in. It's very much a transitional period for the team. We've got a lot of experienced heads that have gone out the door, and a part of me likes what Ishmael's doing. He's kind of like that no-nonsense approach. If you don't want to stay at Rovers, if you're not going to sign a contract, you're going to go. So pretty much all the key players that we had that had a year left have now all gone. So it's nice to see he's got players in that want to be at Blackburn. I mean, I was a big fan of Heim and Travis and Dolan and Britton, but we've got these players in, like we were saying last week, who are young and hungry. And I think if Ishmael can get his teeth into them and mould them into his image, we could have a good team here, And I think the fans are going to get on side. The fans are going to support him. I've heard no discontent really behind the manager. It's all kind of going on behind the scenes really. And I think Rudy Gested's getting a lot of flack, not Ishmael. So if he can get his time to gel the team, embedding in his new ideas, because it's a very new look team. It's almost like compared to where we were last season, Derby are more in line with Rovers than we are currently right now. So I think we've got to give him a chance. But I don't know how the boys feel, but I think I've heard no rumblings from any real negatives about him. I think the passion he's now showing was what we weren't seeing last season. I think now he's really kind of getting into it, and he's found his feet a little bit. So yeah, I think he's doing well, all things considered.
Good stuff, yeah. Final word on the game from Dorsey. Excellent performance, well-deserved. New signings are showing up the negative idiots. Lucky for us, we don't have any of those such characters on here. Right, Harry, me and you spent a whole year talking about Sammy Szmodics, pretty much in and out every single week. And this weekend, of course, he's back with Ipswich Town. How much is it going to hurt if he bags the winner at 5 o'clock this weekend?
Yeah, of course it would hurt, but I can't imagine he'd be the kind of player that's going to celebrate in front of the fans. I think he's always been very open about how much he enjoyed his time here. But yeah, that's a really difficult game. They seem to struggle a little bit at the start of the season, but had a massive win on Friday night. We know how much quality's in that squad anyway. We all thought that they're going to be a team pushing right up there this season. I think they still will be. They've had a decent window, signed some quality players as well. They've had some big changes, much like we have. But I think at the same time, it's also a game that we could definitely get something out of. They haven't quite found their feet yet. I don't think they're the free-flowing Ipswich we expected them to be and potentially will go on to be this season. There's definitely chances for us if we can build on the momentum that we've had in the last going in from last game. And like I said, the performances have been there. So I think there's a chance that teams will underestimate us, look at us in our position in the league and think Blackburn are a team that you should look at beating. But we haven't really played badly, I don't think, so far this season. A couple of bad moments in the first half against Norwich and the West Brom game as well. But overall, I don't think we've been poor at all. I think we should be higher up in the table than we should be. And I think we can really give anyone a game at this stage. So I wouldn't be fearing any one team like Ipswich, even though they've got so much firepower like our man Szmodics. Yeah.
Well, the last away game they came to the Northwest, they got beat for Preston. So yeah, it's definitely not a foregone conclusion at all. Brilliant. Cheers, Harry. Right, transfer window, Jason, closed just as we were talking to you 2 weeks ago. So now it's time for you to give your honest appraisal of how Rovers are done. I suppose if the Watford result had come before we're asking this question, then maybe the results might be a bit lower. But let's see. Give me your honest reactions. Forgetting you've just won 1-0 away at Watford. How did the club do for you? 10 being amazing.
I would probably go with the experience we've lost. At the moment, I'm at a 6, but it's because I've not had it. The new signs I've had time to gel. We don't know the quality they can bring. We don't know how good they are really. They're relative unknown. So I think we lost a lot of big plays. So I'm going to go 6.
Mark.
Yeah, I've got to tend to agree with Jason with that. I think again, and like you said, if you said before the Watford game, you know, I know we were quite critical of the summer recruitment, really, and obviously all the experience we lost. But time will tell. But yeah, I'm going to go with a solid 7 at this minute in time. I'll go with it, and I still think there's improvement in that as the season progresses.
Tom?
Yeah, I'd say a 7. The new players do excite me, you know, especially Good Johnson. I think watching him, a few of the highlights of him against France in midweek, and then he came on at the weekend, and he looks a real handful, a bit of a poacher. So there are some players I think we've got in that are going to be getting the fans off the seats. I think it was a big loss losing some of the key players, and it's more concerning the minutes we lost in the Championship, that experience, more so than anything. But yeah, I would say that, like what Mark said, about a 7, I think, yeah, because time will tell, but you never know. I mean, teams are going to be looking at us and thinking they don't recognise any players on the team sheet apart from really Todd Cantwell. So that, in a way, can work in our favour because we're still relatively an unknown quantity. So you never know what you're going to get, really. So yeah, I'd say a 7, but I'm quietly optimistic and I'm fairly positive for what we've done with it so far.
Harry, you don't sell one of your standout players on the very last seconds of deadline day without bringing in a suitable replacement, do you? This is exactly what you did with Hyam, which caused a bit of a meltdown, to be fair, in the fan base, and a reasonable meltdown given that the timing of it and why. Well, did he want to go in particular? His contract was running down, but wasn't really making any noises about moving. What was your whole take of that whole bizarre 24 hours?
I think you've got to remember Blackburn in the stage that we are at the minute. We're a selling club, and I think although it's a shame to lose Hyam, I think the people that complain that we lost him would also be the same people who complained if we kept him for a year and lost him for free. The amount of times Blackburn have done that over the last 3 years, Rothwell, Brereton, Dolan, players that we could have got really big money for that we've ended up losing for free. So we might as well get, in the financial states that we're in, we need to get money where we can get it. And like I said, in the financial states that we're in, we can't necessarily compete with a team with this sort of upward trajectory like Wrexham. If he's had his head turned and he wants to go to Wrexham, then get the money for him, sell him. The issue is, you're right, that we haven't replaced him. I do think we have still got really good players in that centre-half position, but we are a bit weak in terms of depth. So I think Blackburn really need to be looking at the free agent market. I'm not sure who's really available. I know Craig Dawson's a player that's been linked a couple of times. That would be someone that
would be good. Yeah,
that would be someone that would be really good for this club. Bit of experience, because that's something that we've lost. And the lads were just saying that we've lost a whole lot of experience. I'm pretty sure he's got similarities in the agency with a couple of the people in the squad as well. So it's something that could happen. But yeah, I think I'm not overly mad that we've lost him, although as mad as that is to say, because he was such a good servant for us. I don't think it was something that we really could have avoided. So yeah, I think we need to look into that free agent market to just try and get them more strength in depth, really.
Okay. Your overall grade then, Harry, would be?
I'd give it a 7.5. I think we've lost the players that we lost. We couldn't have really done anything about, and some of the players that we've bought. I think Alabiosu looks like a really good piece of business. I think Gudjonsson, Morishita. I think there's some players that look really exciting, could be really promising. Of course, it's early days, but yeah, I'm quite impressed by the business we've done so far.
Do you know what? It's also nice as well that we've actually bought these players and they're not loanies, because we've relied so heavily on the loan market in recent seasons. It's nice to actually our players for a change.
I think that's the thing. Yeah. No, I don't think we have we? I was just going to say. I think
it's just that midfielder who hasn't played yet, but we'll probably end up signing him at the start of next season anyway.
Yeah, I think Ishmael, I think he said last week the interview he did with the club, didn't he? And like he said, his thought process behind it, he's building a team now for the next 3 or 4 years, and that's exactly what we need to be doing, isn't it? I think we've made this mistake year on year where running players' contracts down. So maybe, listening to the interview with Ishmael and Gusted last week that they did with the club, you think, well, actually, yeah, Ishmael's right, isn't he? And the Dom Hyam, they did want to keep. But when they're coming in with a bid of nearly £3 million with a player that could go on free, what do you do? You're gonna have it's too much to turn down, isn't it? So so we are. I think we are hopefully building for the next 3 or 4 years.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. I tell you what, Jason, that yellow kit does look quite nice when you see it all together on the green, doesn't it? I've changed my mind on it.
11 Ferrero Rochers on a pitch. That's what they look like.
It just looks odd that you play Watford and you're the ones in yellow.
We were in their colours, they were in ours.
Yeah. I hope you're not Elton John fans, any of you, because you ruined his special day as well. Which is
it was actually quite nice, that Watford kit, to be fair. I thought it was nice, the blue with the silver on. It was quite nice.
Well, yeah, that's what is it? 6 points out of the last 3 visits you've been to Watford as well. You've got becoming a bit of a bogey side for them as well. Right, a good look against Ipswich then. Give Sammy a good. I'm sure you'll get a good round of applause, won't he, if he was to come on the pitch. Fingers crossed that's all he does as well. And we'll see you in 7 days' time to review that game. Thank you for there watching. Do drop us a quick subscribe if you've just found the channel. That'd be absolutely amazing. And we'll see you after Ipswich. Have a good week, everyone.